Thank you for stopping by Jetersblessings. Hoping today's craft will help inspire you. Please like, subscribe, and comment. In today's video, I'm taking this football wreath frame and showing you how I apply the jute cord that I bought from Walmart to it. I add a dab of glue at the tip and I just start wrapping it around, going from one tip of the wreath frame to the next until everything is all covered with the jute cord on the long rails. Then I go back in and I cover up the short rails until the entire football is covered. Now, when this is fully covered, I do take a lighter, which I don't show, and I do burn off the little hairs on here. Next, I'm showing you the cream colored roses from Dollar Tree, the eucalyptus and other fall pick from Walmart, and then this floral foam from the Dollar Tree that I'm going to use. This ribbon I got from Hobby Lobby for 50% off last year. I love it so much that I actually did go back and buy another roll this year. I'm taking this ribbon and I'm wrapping it around the floral foam. That way, if you look at this piece from the side, then you won't really see any of that floral foam sticking out. Once it's all been wrapped around and secured, then what I'll do is I'll take the foam and I'll figure out how I want it placed on the wreath, and then I'll attach it with some hot glue. Here I'm making a bow. I don't really measure out my ends. I've been making bows for quite a while, so I just go with what I like. With this really easy bow, all I'm doing is flipping the ribbon on itself, where each side has 3 little ends on it, and then I'll fold it in half. Next, I'm about to measure out how long I want my tails. So I fold it in half, and then what I'll do is I will cut 1/2 inch slits on both sides of the ribbon, as well as the bow portion of the bow. And then I'll take a chenille stem and attach the top of the bow and the tails together. Now, depending on how full you want this bow is going to be determining how many wraps you'll wrap your ribbon on itself. You can also use this by making simple bows by using, excuse me, I'm all tongue-tied today, but using several ribbons to make a bow at one time. So here all I'm about to do is hot glue the bow to the bottom of the floral foam, and this will allow me to have enough room with the remainder of the floral foam to attach my floral picks. Here's the finished product, and I did not add a hanger or anything to this. All I did was just used a plank that I had super glued a decorative hook onto it and just hung it that way. And I think it just turned out great and beautiful. And as you can tell, you can't see any of that green foam from the side. For my next project, I'm going to use this Astro sign that I got from Hobby Lobby and a couple of the pumpkin football decor signs that I got from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to start off by painting the pumpkins. 3 of the pumpkins I'm going to paint with this folk art chalk paint in sage. I just absolutely love it. It takes a couple of good coats to make sure that the brown is not really peeking through. I really love chalk paint more than I do acrylic just because it provides so much more coverage than it would with the acrylic paint. Now the other 2 colors of paint that I'm going to use is, one is by Craft Smart in the color Fog Gray, which I got from Michael's, and the other one is Americana in the color Pebble that I got from Hobby Lobby. I was fortunate to find this Pebble color in the clearance section of Hobby Lobby a while back, where sometimes my store puts out a lot of the little 2-ounce paints. I don't know if it's just because they're not selling or if they're just trying to make room for other colors, but I absolutely love all 3 of these colors. I think they go very well together. But as I said, with the acrylic paint, it doesn't provide as much coverage, so especially with the fog gray color, I had to do 1 or 2 extra coats than I did with the sage color. Also, while the paint is wet on the pumpkins, I take some of the colors, for instance this fog gray, and I will go and not really dry brush, but I will kind of give it a distress painting, but like I said, the paint is still wet on the pumpkin, and then I just have like a little bit of the secondary color to go on top. But I like doing it that way versus letting my base coat dry and then going back and doing a dry brush, because it allows the paints to blend better together, in my opinion. So I'll take the brown that I'm using and I will go back over the fog gray colored pumpkins just to give a little more shaping with the curves that a normal pumpkin would have, and just to bring that pumpkin look out. Also, as you'll see here shortly, I've got some faux leaves, some yellow and orange, that I took and I painted them these same colors, and I want to thank my husband for that idea because I thought it worked out beautifully. Now I take this black chalkboard paint from the Dollar Tree and I give this sign 1 good coat. Here I take the Dollar Tree letters and I spell out the word blessed. Now I'm taking this gingham ribbon that I also found at Hobby Lobby in the fall section. I'm just making a little bow. And I'm going to make about 5 of these bows, 3 to go on the green pumpkins and 1 for each of the top corner of the sign. And then what I'll do is I'll go back and take some of that jute cord that I got from Walmart and I'll make 4 little bows to go on the other pumpkins. Now for these ribbons and the bows that are not very wide, rather than to give it a dovetail look, I really like to cut the tails at an angle. I like to make them a little bit longer so I can shape a little, maybe like a half loop in them to give it a little look, special look. Then I come in and measure 6 inches from both sides of my sign, and I start centering the words, the letters B and L. And then what I'll do is I'll take the letter E and the S that are in the same colors as these pumpkins, and I will I'll center them in the middle section. Then I'll just hot glue everything back onto the board. Now you'll see me take the red ruler, and what I do is I just line it up with the stem, and that's just so when I remove it and put the hot glue down, I know exactly where to line my pumpkin up, so I don't have to worry about messing up any of the alignment. Now once I have these glued down where I want them, I go ahead and I take the remaining 3 letters and I layer them on top of the other pumpkins, and so I'll end up gluing those down just so the pumpkins have a layered look on them. Now this sign was inspired by a sign that Hobby Lobby had, and I absolutely loved the sign last year, but I just was not wanting to pay the price that they had, and I knew I could do something with it. So last year, by the time I decided I wanted to DIY it, a lot of the supplies from the Dollar Tree were gone. So I waited till this year, and once they got the fall supplies in, I knew exactly what I wanted to do, and this was my favorite fall project by far. I think actually one of my favorite DIYs I've ever made. So here I'm just taking the leaves that I painted and attaching them to the sign. Then I'm going to add my little bows, put my little arc in the ribbon tails, and glue those down so those little arcs will stay. And here's the finished project sitting on my mantle with my other fall decor, and I absolutely love it. I love the colors together. They are just so beautiful. And I love the gingham and the jute string. It just gives it kind of a rustic feel to me. I hope you liked this video. Please remember to like and subscribe and comment below. Thank you for watching.